Morning. It's time to confess. I came to Pomfret with a secret. Not just any secret. I came to Pomfret with my nemesis, an entity that would thrive here, seeking to undermine my efforts to succeed every single day. While most of you spent the weeks leading up to the beginning of school thinking about bathroom caddies and permissible room decor, I worried, strategized, and constructed my weapons of battle. I had waged war with my enemy for years, but I knew Pomfret would be the site of our ultimate confrontation. What was this seemingly inescapable agent out to destroy me? Actually, it was an almost superhuman ability. I have, to a mind-boggling degree, the ability to sleep through pretty much any alarm clock known to mankind. I know this for a fact because I've tried them all. My quest began innocently enough, around the age of 10, when I was given a sunrise simulation alarm, complete with added bird song, to let me greet the day gently. Sounds sweet, right? I don't actually know, because it never succeeded in waking me up. Instead, what greeted me each day was my frustrated mom, who, after listening to birds vainly chirping for 20 minutes while I blissfully slept on, would enter my room with an increasingly loud stomp. Not so sweet. Simulated sunrise was scrapped, and I moved on to the sonic bomb with bed shaker. This device involved placing a pad under my mattress that would begin violently shaking when the alarm blared. I think this worked once or twice, but quickly stopped working to wake me up, and very soon stopped working at all. I realized that natural occurrences, sunrise, birds, earthquakes, were simply not enough. I needed a man-made intervention. The screaming meanie caught my eye. Its catchphrase, "promises the rude awakening you deserve," seemed promising enough. Its 120 decibel alarm equals a chainsaw at close range. Not so good for the ears, but I couldn't sleep through it, right? I will give my body credit. Every day, and very quickly, so I'm told, I would turn off the alarm. The only problem, my brain wasn't required to do the job, and it stayed sleeping while my fingers did the work, and I would invariably be found back in bed and fully asleep. To be fair to myself, I come by this honestly. My dad told me once, when he was a senior in high school, he woke up to find himself wrapping up a phone call with a college interviewer. He'd written down the date, the time, and the location of the interview he had apparently just scheduled, but I had no idea what college it was for. The interview was at the person's office, and my dad darted his gaze around nervously, looking for clues: a diploma, a banner, a school seal, anything that would let him know what college he was currently interviewing for. Seniors, I'm sure you can sympathize, and juniors, take this as a cautionary tale. So this is where I found myself, a week before starting at Pomfret, an alarm clock as loud as an ambulance that I would turn off in my sleep. I decided I simply didn't need man-made intervention. I needed self-made intervention. I would have to put my ingenuity to the test. I made a small wooden box with a hinged lid. I cut holes in the sides for enhanced sound release and added a combination lock. I figured the steps, undoing the lock, opening the lid, reaching in, and turning off the alarm would definitely require my brain to wake up. And it did, at least a little. A few test runs showed me how easy it was to lift the box from the floor into my bed and turn it off and still find myself in bed and soon asleep. So I finally glued a small glass dish to the top of the lid, which I would fill with water every night. This stopped me from being able to lift the box into my bed, and I'd have to get up, dump the water out, then unlock the box and turn off the alarm. I'd like to apologize to Ryan Cho that the process sometimes took a little longer than it should have. This may sound overly elaborate and just a little crazy, but it got me through junior year. Miss Forrestal will tell you that I was always exactly on time to every class. I thought I had my nemesis beat. Senior year, however, showed me that this wasn't yet true. Loaded with coursework, activities, applications, and independent projects, I found I needed to cut something out of my schedule. Biolabs and college essays obviously don't write themselves, at least not yet, and I was left too dedicated to my clubs and obsessed with my project. What was left to cut out? Sleep. This seemed like an easy choice for me, since my favorite part of the day has always been the night, when everything is quiet and I can just commit myself to work. So cutting out sleep was easy. It was waking up on time for class after I inevitably fell asleep at my desk that proved impossible. As many of you know, I am technologically inclined. I like to code, I like to build. I've always looked to technology first to answer my problems. For years, I looked to technology to solve my problem with waking up, but now I was at the end of my rope. If the screaming meanie with a custom-made box and a water hazard couldn't wake me up, what else could technology offer? I'd finally realized the truth. Mechanical fixes and technological crutches weren't the answer. I needed to change myself, and that required an in-depth exercise in introspection. First, I had to face the fact that I couldn't do it all, especially not without sleep. Second, I had to figure out what was important to me, where I could cut back a little and still feel accomplished. Third, I had to admit that my all-night work habits, as enjoyable as they are not healthy. After these realizations, I started to discover new routines that provided me with creative time while also allowing me to get where I needed to go. Now, I wake up at 7, get a solid hour of work in before class, and go to sleep early enough so that it's not hard for me to hear my alarm next morning. I do miss my late night work sessions, but I've discovered that early morning is actually kind of nice. It's a little new for me. If there are any lessons here, it's this. It's important to push yourself, challenge yourself, and do all you can in life. But it's important to know yourself and respect your needs as well as your responsibilities. You can look for answers outside yourself, and you may find some of them work for a while. I have no doubt there are screaming meanies out there for all of us. But the best way to tackle your problems and conquer your nemesis is to search for answers within yourself and be open to change. It's only in this way that you'll be able to find the dawn. Thank you, Pomfret.